Hey friends, how are you? I'm glad you're here with me today. Let's chit chat real quick. So as you guys can see the title, it says story time, okay? And free places to live now that you have your van or your RV. So it could be a van, car, RV, but I'm going to give you guys some tips of my own. First tip, stay tuned for the story time at the end. First tip I'm going to give you all. Go to your local shopping plaza. Let's be realistic here. You might just got your van or your car. You might not have enough money for gas and all that extra stuff. You might not even be able to get to a good Boondockers location. Or even if you paid your $50 for the year, maybe you haven't done that yet. But it's $50 for the year through Harvest Host. Boondockers welcome. $50 a year will get you to any boondocking location across the United States as long as you have a membership. Free places pretty much in the country in order to be able to stay. Sometimes they have like even public storage places that they have Boondockers welcome where you could park there. Not the best scenery, but it is a free and safe place to park. So Boondockers welcome. But what if you don't have enough gas in order to get to these locations? Then you got to go to Plan B. Which technically should be around Plan A, especially if you're just getting started and you don't have a lot of money. Go to your local shopping plaza, somewhere where you feel a little safe, like a little safe zone. If there's a security that roams that area at nighttime, just wait until about after 7 or 8 in order to be able to like park your stuff and get situated. I would say around 8 o'clock, getting a little dark outside. Talk to the security if you're able to ahead of time and say, hey, listen, you know, especially if you're in an RV, because you really can't hide the fact that somebody could be living in that RV. But if you're in a car or van, you don't have to tell anybody. Just go to the shopping plaza, wait till about 8 or 9 o'clock, and then go ahead and put up your window cover, make sure you have everything covered, and go ahead and get some sleep. Now, if you live in the hood, okay, your sleep might not be as easy. I have had one of those experiences already. We've had those experiences where we were 3 weeks in a shopping plaza, quote unquote, in the hood in a way. And we were there for 3 weeks. Nobody bothered us. Security didn't bother us anything until we got some roughneck boys where we had to dump out, okay, because they banged on the side of our RV. And it was just a lot of drama. So we just had to bump out of there. So you're going to have those moments. But that is number one. Check your local shopping plazas. If you don't really have enough money and you got to do what you got to do. Ain't no judgment zone. Just do what you got to do. Number two. Also, okay, another good place to do is shopping plaza, but major shopping plazas that have Home Depot, Lowe's, stuff like that. Even though there's a lot of cameras and stuff, you can easily call inside and say, hey, I have an RV. Can I park overnight? Now, even if you have a van or a car, just say you have an RV. Can I park overnight? And they might say something to the tune of, sure, you can go ahead and park in the far side of the parking lot, maybe the garden side or maybe the lawn and garden side, whatever they call it. You can park on that side, and at least you know that they allow RVs to park there. So I think you could get away with your car or van just in case. If you have an RV, you can get away with that as long as they're giving you permission. Make sure that you get the manager's name. So if you do get a knock at the door, you can easily say, hey, Miss Caroline, let me stay here for the night, or Matt gave me permission to stay in the parking lot. Number three, find a free place to park. Again, you can go to park. I wouldn't really recommend this too much because usually they say no cars after dark or, you know, stuff like that. But if you have no other choice and you don't have money for a campsite, you can't find a safe shopping plaza, try to find a local park that hopefully nobody wakes you up out of your sleep. It's a little bit risque, but if there's nothing else, you know, you could try to do that. Now, number four, let's get into this Boondocker welcome thing. Get your Boondocker membership. So maybe you might be a little broke, but you said, okay, well, I got $400 or $500 reserved just in case, $300, whatever. Take 50 of that dollars, put it on a prepaid card, whatever you got going on, and pay your $50 for your Boondockers welcome Harvest Hope. Download the app, pay the $50 for the year. It is worth it. We've boondocked on 3 different properties so far. Well, actually, was it 2 or 3? I think we boondocked on 2 or 3, and for free. So ultimately, you would say, oh, well, it's not really free because it's $50 for the year. It turns out to be what? $2 a month? Or no, about $5 a month maybe. I would say, not even that. Okay, fine. Whatever the case may be, you're not really paying anything. You're escaping the rent trap. You know, you could pay your little $50 for your quote unquote your rent for the year. Now, if you're out west, in order to get free, you want to make sure that you get your America's the Great card, or you want to get your BLM land card. So just look up BLM land access cards online, Google, you will pull it up. It's about $80 for the year. That's going to save you a tremendous amount of money on your excursion. Okay? You're going to be able to stay on BLM land for up to 2 weeks free at a time. Okay? 2 weeks free. Okay? You can always mooch dock as well. Okay? Family members that might let you stay maybe in their driveway while you wait for some more money to come in and then look for another spot. You could do things like that. Also as well, Menards. Menards is another place. Now, remember the free spots that I told you, shopping plaza and all of that stuff? That's all included, like Lowe's, Home Depot, all of that stuff, McDonald's. You're getting free internet too as well. So not only are you getting free rent, you're getting free internet, and you're having some peace of mind that you don't have to wake up the next day saying, oh my God, I got to pay somebody my money, my hardworking money, or I got to go work today on the computer and got to pay somebody my hardworking money. You don't want to have to live like that. It's all a trickling effect. It's all a humongous government cycle. Okay. The more you work, okay, the more you have to pay. And sometimes you work more and you don't have to pay like the maximum, but you're only making enough in order to pay your rent and your bills, and you're still cutting out at zero at the end of the month. You're not able to save or anything like that because you're trying to work so hard to pay people's rent. It's all a control. You don't realize how much you're controlled until you get into an RV life, van life, car life, whatever the case may be that could save you some money. You don't realize how special that is to be able to do that. Right now, no one can kick us out of our RV. There might be some construction that needs to be done, like you guys can see in the background. There's things that need to be done. It's not an easy road, but at the same time, nobody's going to be able to kick us out of our RV. The worst that can happen is that I have to have it towed or something, get it worked on, or we might be stranded somewhere and we're stuck inside of our own house. Okay, fine, until we get some help. Okay, is it the worst? No, it's not the worst. You could easily be in an apartment in a house. I'm going to give you the same situation, apartment or house. Easily owe your rent, and your landlord now wants to kick you out because you're short on your rent. They want to charge you a late fee. That's extra money out your pocket. You don't pay that light bill, you got to get an extension. If you don't have an extension, you got to put a bad check. And if you don't have any checks, okay, you got to figure out how to pay, or if not, they cut your lights off. Or you got to put in somebody else's name, some hood stuff. You know what I'm saying? You got to do all type of crazy stuff. If you ain't got money for your gas, if you don't got money, keep your internet up. Now they're requiring that everything has to be an internet connection. So if you don't have your internet up, then you're screwed. These are all the reasons why you should think about going into van life or RV life if you haven't thought about it yet. But if you're watching these videos, it's because you know that it's something you're interested in. And you can do it. So don't assume because you're broke or because you're rich or because whoever, okay? Only rich people could buy an RV, a fifth wheel. Nah. I'm not rich. Nowhere close to it. I'm poor. P-O, the word po. Poor. But rich in spirit and rich in mind. Because I'm glad that I'm able to give this information to others so everybody can start thinking like, hey, stop paying this rent. And even if you have a mortgage, if you know you got $300,000 on that mortgage still, you might want to be thinking about another plan. Because let you stop paying that mortgage, they'll be ready to scoop that house right underneath you. And all your hard work is like, what is it for? Now, let me tell you the most hardest thing that really gets people into this life. People can't deal with the whole thing about, oh, it possibly could be cold. What if the generator goes bad? What if you blow a tire? What if you run out of gas? What if you run out of food? All of those things are possible if you live in your own house or you live in a rental place. Nothing is ever for sure. Nothing is ever for sure. Not even our life is guaranteed the next day. We're blessed to be alive every day that we're able to get a chance to be alive. So when you see how much time that you waste being at work all day to come home to that house that you're paying all your money to, and you barely get to sleep in that house, maybe about 6 or 7 hours before you got to wake up and do it all over again. Remind you, there's 24 hours in a day. Okay? You take up majority of time at work. You spend so much less time with your kids. You spend less time with your family. And your mind is all scrambled. This is why it's important to find free places to live. This is why it's important to go van life, nomad life, RV life. This is what you need. I'm sorry, folks, and some people might not agree with me, but there's going to be a lot of folks that's going to agree with me, and I'm okay with showing those folks like, hey, you could do it. Other folks that don't agree with me, hey, it's your own opinion, buddy. But at the end of the day, no matter how rich or how poor you are, This life could be convenient for you if you mentally give yourself a minimalist check and think, what really makes me happy? What do I really want to do in life? What things do I absolutely need and cannot live without? And I promise you, anybody could do a van life. Anybody could live in a car. I've seen people that are handicapped that live in a van. Okay? You can do it. And if you can live in a van or a car, then you definitely can live in an RV, class A, class B, class C, whatever. You can do it. And so when everybody else is around you coming at you with that negative stuff, oh, you can't. Oh, you cannot. Oh, how you going to do with the gas? Or how you going to do with this? They're not being negative because they're trying to be negative directly to you. They're being negative because of their natural opinion and response to what you're doing. Oh my God, that's not traditional. You're not living in a house. You're not working 9 to 5. You're not going crazy. You're not paying a million bills, so you're not normal anymore. Well, people on my end of the nomad scale know that you might not be as normal as you think you are if you're paying a whole bunch of bills and you think that that is the number one goal. I do not want my number one goal to be, I'm sorry, with all due respect, I do not want my number one goal to be paying Uncle Tom or Uncle Sam, however you want to call it, Uncle Sam the rest of my life. Now, granted, we do want to buy a little piece of land. Okay, and we are going to have to pay taxes on that land every year. There are bills. That's why my description always says 25% of bill free, about 25% bill free, because, you're always going to have some type of bill, some type of payment to give to Uncle Sam. They ain't going to let us get off that scotch free. But if you can go from paying $2,000 and something a month, let's say that's $18,000, $19,000 alone, approximately in rent, okay? Or even more than that, 24 something thousand in rent alone or more. Okay, depending on where you live. If you got to be paying that amount of money, I'd rather pay taxes and own my own property. But you can own your own property and keep that money less too as well, as if you build smart. Okay, keep everything low, minimalist. So then that way you can play the field right. Keep your taxes low every year. Not have so many things to maintain. Sometimes we think we need this, we need that, and that. And we really don't need all of that stuff. None of that stuff you're taking to the grave with you. This is about living your true, authentic life. And the only way you can live your true, authentic life is by minimalizing your life. So the less things you have to take care of is the less things you have to worry about. And the less things you have to worry about is the less stress you contain in your brain. And the less stress output that you put to your children, your family, your husband, kids, wife, whatever the case may be. Take this into account. Now, let me tell you this quick story time about free living. So for the first time, I actually called a Home Depot and was like, hey, just want to know if I was able to park on the side of your parking lot. We have an RV. We're passing through. Just say you're passing through and, wanted to know if we can park. And the lady bluntly said, hold on 1 second. Let me check with a manager. Went to the manager, probably didn't even go. I don't think she went. She was kind of a little wishy-washy. But I think she just honestly came back because I had already briefed her. And then so she was just like, our manager told us no. I was like, all right, whatever. Peace out to you too. And then I called one of the Lowe's that was in more of I would say more of a bougie area. And they were like, oh, well, the security around here is a little bit tight. We really don't care at all. As long as wherever you're parking, you keep everything the way you saw it, clean. It's like a campsite. But the security might say something to you. He was actually really nice. It was a really nice gentleman, honestly. I know that he was being really truthful about it. He was like, I really honestly don't care. Seriously, it's just that I think that security might say something about it because of the area and stuff like that. I was like, cool, no problem. So you're going to run into those times where people are just going to tell you no, or you're going to get a couple of knocks at the door and you're going to be like, oh my God, I got to wake up in the middle of the night and move. But if you find the parking spots, now here's a bonus thing. Here's a bonus. Right now, for an example, we're parked by a Lowe's, right? Of course, I can't give out the secret location. But we're parked by a Lowe's, but we're parked on another property adjacent to the Lowe's, if I said that right. Literally right next to the Lowe's. But their parking lot is up for sale. It's a commercial parking lot. So we've been parked here for 3 days, no problem. Local police told us, no problem at all. Not even bothering you. You guys are good. A-okay. So you might be able to come across those. Sorry, I had to get some more storage space. But what I was saying is that if you all need to park somewhere ASAP, okay, the bonus location is commercial parking lots. Commercial parking lots for sale. Most likely, nobody's going to bother you there for like a good minute. Especially if you can find a good parking spot that you're familiar already with the area and you know that the business has been shut down for a minute. Most of those spots, nobody's going to bother you. They have no reason to bother you, really. You're not bothering anybody else. And until the people buy the parking lot and tell you have to move, then you move. Or a police officer literally tells you cannot park here. And then you go ahead and move because you don't want to start any problems. Remember, free living is okay. These are the issues you got to go through a little bit with free living, but it also pays off in that. Because if you go into one of the commercial spots and you park there for like a week on end, 2 weeks on end, guess what? You're saving so much money in gas. You're saving money on gas, especially if you're driving a big old guzzler Class A like I am, okay? Thank God that this thing burns really good on the highway because it really gives us good gas mileage. For every quarter tank, I get at least 2 hours in. So it definitely gives good mileage on it. Even though it's a Class A 1993, it does really good. But the longer you can park is the less gas you spend. And wink, wink, parked by the Lowe's, free high-speed internet all day, every day. So, ladies and gentlemen, I thank you all so much for joining this video today. Make sure you all subscribe and give it a like if you enjoyed the content that I pushed out today, because I feel that it was very useful. You all need to know where to go. You need to know where to go. You might be getting evicted right now. You need to know, what am I going to do if I get out there? That was my main thing. Well, now you know. So make sure you subscribe so you can see all the other videos that's coming. You remember, I load up a video every single day. And so you all know that I'm here for you all as well as for myself. And I'm here to show you all our journey and the real journey. Not a fake journey. Not a washed up edited journey. This is Honesty RV journey. Thank you all so much and have a wonderful and blessed day. I'm out of here.